Now, with the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 1, Stranger in a Strange Land, now officially out on Disney+, a lot of Star Wars fans are already looking forward to the next 6 episodes and beyond of what's to come for, of course, The Mandalorian Season 3 as well, and how it's really going to all interconnect with the Book of Boba Fett series as well. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So we're at the very end of 2021 now. Tomorrow marks the last day. It's crazy how fast time just flies by as we enter into 22, which is by far going to be the busiest year for Star Wars, not just for Disney, but also for the Star Wars fans to engage in all of these new Star Wars TV shows, books, novels, and comics, and really learning about the new video games that are slated for the next couple of years. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that John, George, and Dave are all working together as a trio to really bring back Star Wars Legends into the mix and to really take advantage of what's going to be done in order to really kind of give fans a different take on Star Wars. So, with that being said, we already know that Kathleen Kennedy is still having issues with the Acolyte TV series by Leslye Headland. There's been a lot of setbacks with that. But in total, that's really the only Star Wars project that's been having a lot of issues. You know, the Rangers of the New Republic show, that's a thing of the past. Rogue Squadron, it really seems to be quite of an on and off situation with Patty Jenkins. We're going to be learning a little bit more about that in February of next year. However, what's even all the more exciting is exactly what Bob Chapek, the Disney CEO, has planned for Star Wars Celebration of 2023. Not to get confused with next year's, but the year after that. So, on top of all of this, what's really exciting is the fact that the Ahsoka Tano series is set to begin filming by this April, with the Acolyte series set to also begin in May of 2022, that is going to gear the beginning list of TV shows for 2023. Both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are currently creating important and big stories for the universe that will take many elements from Star Wars Legends. However, it's described that Lucasfilm is preparing something huge for the future of Star Wars, and that involves continuing the Skywalker saga with Star Wars Episodes 10, 11, and 12 that will be announced at Star Wars Celebration of 23. Now, further, it's described that the new films will be adapted from a series of books and comics called Episodes 10 through 12 that will release in 2023 that Lucasfilm is going to use to create a familiarity of the characters coming into the Star Wars universe. So, just to make things a little bit more clear, what they are planning on doing is releasing a lineup of books and comics that are going to be called Episodes 10, 11, and 12. Once the familiarity sets in over the course of some time, that's when they're going to plan on adapting them into new Star Wars movies labeled as 10, 11, and 12 that's going to dive deeper into the Skywalker bloodline. Moving on. So the new films are set to explore 2 sides of the Skywalker family, one of which is planned to be the grandchild of Luke Skywalker, given that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni plan on introducing Luke Skywalker's son in the Mandoverse. This would make this character the next in the family tree after Luke's son. The other side of the family planned is both Cade Skywalker and Jaina Skywalker, both inspired from Star Wars Legends characters. Now keep in mind, in Star Wars Legends, Jaina was actually Jaina Solo, the sister of Jacen Solo, which were the twins of both Han and Leia. Later they had a child called Anakin, of course, but when you look at everything related to this, alright, basically what John and Dave and other creators out there, like George, are doing is that they're taking that key concept of Jaina Solo and kind of twisting things up a bit and making things a little bit interesting. Now, I know some fans out there are not going to like this because they would absolutely prefer Jaina Solo to be the sister of Ben Solo, or, you know, something around those lines. But the problem is that there is already a story that involves Ben Solo, and we didn't really get to learn all that much about a potential other sibling, or another child, I should say, of Han and Leia, so that would create a little bit of a problem there. So, moving beyond this, the stories are already being developed that will later be adapted into the form of films that is set to involve Darth Talon as one of the main villains who will act as a new Sith in the Star Wars trilogy. The new films are also going to introduce a brand new Star Wars, or in a new war, if you should say, into the Star Wars world. One that is described to be the most complex one yet, that will be very carefully written by multiple writers in the future. Both Yavin 4 and Tatooine are planned to be the two main worlds that will be the homes of the new Jedi Order that was created by Rey and Ben Solo, that will later be explained in later next year in the new comics set to be released that's going to fill in the gaps in between episodes 9 and 10. Actors, of course, Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver have already been approached by Disney if they were interested in making cameos for the new Star Wars trilogy in the not-so-distant future, and they are both described to hold interest in coming back for the roles on a minimal scale. Even Mark Hamill was approached if he wanted to return as a Force ghost, or if they could have permission to use his likeness in the future if something were to happen to him in the meantime. Now, that's an interesting way about going, doing things, is the fact that they could always use Mark Hamill's likeness if he's, not to be around, if he's busy, if he's, doing some other project, or if something terribly happens to the man. They could always use his likeness, and that's exactly what they're building on in Hollywood right now, how they can really recreate actors of any given age, and they can really take advantage of that. Now, actor Garrett Hedlund of Tron Legacy, who is set to portray Cade Skywalker in the new movies, will be described as a Skywalker trying to walk away from the Skywalker bloodline and history that he has to focus on his smuggling and bounty hunting business. Meanwhile, Lucasfilm plans to make Luke's grandson the more wise Jedi and Skywalker family member of this time. The Yuzong Vong are also already pre-planned to be a major part of this new war, and they will be considered enemies from another galaxy that enters the one that poses a great threat to the Jedi Academy and even the Sith characters like Darth Talon and others to be introduced in these new Star Wars stories. So, the thing about Garrett Hedlund, I think he's an excellent choice for Cade. If you guys have never seen Garrett act, go ahead and check out Tron Legacy, go ahead and check out some of his other movies, but it makes a lot of sense. He's already associated with Disney. We talked about this before a couple of months ago. And when you look at everything in the past, we have seen how Kathleen Kennedy has created a terrible problem with the sequel trilogy movies, of how disjointed they are or how inconsistent they really are with the Star Wars lore. Basically, Disney wants to really focus on doing things right for the last and final time to finally put a stamp on the end of the Skywalker saga and ending it at 12. George Lucas always said this before, that he would like to see Star Wars as a whole, the Skywalker saga, work as a clock, going through 1 through 12 hours, like a clock. And he wants each and every episode to lead up to episode 12. So, when you look at things like this, obviously we know that there's a lot of difficult, decisions that are to be made between Bob Chapek, George Lucas, and others on exactly what really needs to be done in order to incorporate legends and how accurate they need to do things in order to satisfy fans. I'm not quite sure how fans are going to take the whole Jaina Skywalker thing, being, from Solo to a Skywalker now, in a sense, by name. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it is something that is in the early development phase, but the books are actually moving along very smoothly. That's going to release in 2023 during the holiday season. So keep your eyes open for that. So, overall, guys, I think that we're in for quite a good ride for Star Wars. Let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.